Anyway, science and religions are two sides of a same coin. Science looks outwards and religion looks inwards, but both are searching. Experiment versus experience. Experience of Arihant Lord. Agam scriptures are experience of Mahavir Swami. After 12 and a half years of undertaking, whatever he has learned, that's all related in Agam. And Agam has so much scientific data. When you look at the Tattvartha Sutra, it's nothing but the matter, fusion, positive charge, negative charge. And Bhagwan did all of this because of our compassion, because he knew that in order to have a proper faith in Jain religion, the new people like us need to have a faith in religion. That's why he told us about a drop of water has more than 40,000 microscopic life. So a lot of these scriptures are in Germany, and they translated all of this technology to understand how the dark matter works, how all of these massless particles are in a whole universe. And those massless particles have something to do with our karma philosophy. Whenever we have a passion, we attract those massless particles, and that becomes part of our karmic body, and those are the bondage. So we're gonna explore what those dark matters are, what is written in the Tattvartha Sutra from Agam Sutra was derived. So Doctrine of Karma deals with the laws of nature. It's all scientific. There is no God involved in this. And that governs the lives of all organism, which connects to our past, present and future. This doctrine is unique, it is based on science, scientific reasoning. It supports philosophical, psychological and science reasoning, and gives positive clues to questions like why we reap and what we sow, who controls the genes. Our Nam Karma is fully related to genes. Our color of the body, we'll take Nam Karma, because Nam Karma has almost 40 to 50% information which is modern science agrees with all the genes. And why coherent electromagnetic field exists in every organism, and they regulates and mental our biological process. Nowadays, more and more people are believe that taking just the chemicals like a medicine is not the answer to having a positive thought, having a positive consciousness, having a sachi bhavana, true feeling, compassion toward everybody, not to have any emotions, no anger, no kashaya. Those has a more effect on our body than just the chemicals. So whenever you go on a PBS, and there you see many doctors telling us that chemical is not the only way. You gotta have a good conscious mind. What Jain Dharma is saying. So we'll take each of those Nav Tattva which reflects those bhavana. So Jain doctrine is as scientific as this. Water evaporates, then gets condensation and rains, and then again the water goes back in a lake. So this is as scientific, So we'll prove that Jaina philosophy, karma philosophy is as scientific. There is no God. It's all karma doing its job and affects our body. So this is vicious cycle of karma. You know, we have a mental activity, man, vachan, ne kaya, yoga. If we not careful, we have an influx of karma matter, which is ashrava. And then you have a bondage, that karma bonds, and then there is a fruition of karma. So one of these days, whatever karma you have attached after so many life, or maybe in the same life, you have to have a fruits of that karma. Like Mahavir Swami, in his 17th or 18th reincarnation, got upset with his assistants who didn't turn off the music, because he told him, said, hey, make sure you turn off the music. And he got angry and poured lead in his ears. And on 27th reincarnation, that farmer came and put thorn in his ears. And that was during 12.5 years of undertaking, that thorn was the most painful to Mahavir Swami. You know, he screamed when they pulled out. So sooner or later, you get that fruition of karma. Now when that comes, it depends how you handle that situation. If you handle with samta, equality and equanimity, then everything is fine. But if you get attachment and aversion, and you are still doing your same kashaya, then through your tejas body, those are subtle bodies, are karma body and tejas body. We know all about lesha, right? Our inner thoughts, they take over, and then your electromagnetic waves has an effect on your nervous system or your glands. Your hormones, when you get angry, your hormones your hormones has feeling and emotions, and then again you have a passion. So you get angry or you get greedy, and then cycle repeats. You know, so if you have to stop your new karma coming in, but average person always have some kind of passion toward everything. You know, we don't do everything with equanimity and equality, and you know, stay calm. So this is the repeat, you know, and that's the reason we take birth and rebirth. So this is the 4 gati where we take a rebirth. Heaven, human, you go to narak, and then panchendriya, you know, you become a animal, plants, or microorganism. So this is a good example of Paryushana Bhagwan. You know, Paryushana Bhagwan is he was called Marubati and Kamat. You know, and these are those 2 brothers. But Marubati was very religious. He used to go to temple and doing a lot of religious thing. But his brother Kamat, he was a little notorious. So he had an affair with his Marubati's wife. So his dad found out, and he sends him out of the town, kicked him out of the town. That's what that is. He's sitting on a donkey. So then his brother Kamat joined a group of monk, and then Marubati felt sorry. So he goes to his brother, he said, hey, I'm sorry, because of me you were kicked out of the town. But anger takes over. He hits him with a stone. You know, and he passed away right away. He dies. So this is another slide. Then, these are all the reincarnation of Paryushana Bhagwan. And you can see here, this is that stone. You know, he hit him, and Marubhuti passed away. In his second life, Paryushana Bhagwan was a tame lion, elephant, and here is the kamat. He just wanted to take a revenge. So he came back again and again. One time he came as a snake when Paryushana Bhagwan's soul was meditating. Here he came as a bill. And every time there was anger. One time he came as a lion. So that anger in his first life carried him over again and again for next 8 to 9 lives. So it's so important that anything we do, we keep samta, don't have any anger. So then we know that in a 10th life, here is, change the wrong one. Kamat was doing some yagni, and then Paryushana Bhagwan saw that there is in a piece of wood there are some snakes. So he said that what kind of religion are you doing? Are you herding these snakes? So anyway, he splits that wood and recite Naukar mantra, and they become two Sashandev, Dharmendra and Dharmani. So then again, when he is meditating, this kamat is pouring so much rain. So Bhagavan was almost up to his nose. And then Sasan Devta comes and saves them and explains to Kamat, what have you been doing? But the message here is cycles, it's just like natural cycles. Kamat was acting violently. At the same time, Paryushana Bhagwan remained in samta, no matter what happened. And that's why, he attained Kevala Jnana. So I'm just trying to prove that this is just scientific as the water and the rain. This is all natural process. The Arihant who perceived the truth in entry presented the details of way in which this law operates. The doctrine of karma has serious implication on our personal life, and understanding of this doctrine can improve our moral, social, and ethical behavior. And foster our harmonious relationship at global level. We have seen this sign in our Jain temple, right? If you go on the stairs, climbing up on a temple, there are 2 stairs and you see. So this is what saying, all life is bound together by the natural support and interdependence. Harmonian, relation to improve our moral, social and ethical behavior at global level. Life is viewed as a gift of togetherness, accommodation, assistance, universe teeming with independent constituent. Later we'll study how the biophoton in our living is all harmonious. Whatever my vibration is, I can send it to all of you, or you can send it to me. Those vibration was so strong in Mahavir Bhagwan. When Mahavir Bhagwan was preaching, there was no disease in hundreds of miles, because his vibration were that strong. Effect on his biophoton was so good that it cured our disease. But what we are saying is that we have to live in harmony with the nature, which we are destroying now with pollution, and pesticide are killing bees, and if bees are killed, how we gonna pollinate all the fruits and vegetables, So any cycle is disturbed, it affects all of us. So that's what Bhagavan is saying, that live in harmony with nature. You probably know who this guy is, called Lao Tzu. It's a Buddhism, and he always said nature is our mother. Nature provides us with everything we need. Once we abuse a relation by taking more than we need and not giving anything back, we can expect problem. We can expect. Alliance to any particular faith or belief is not necessary to understand this doctrine of karma, because it's all scientific. It doesn't matter you're Christian or whatever faith you are in, according to Jain philosophy or Aryan teaching, it is as natural as what we saw about the water and rain, and goes back and then cycle repeats. But Western religion doesn't believe in karma philosophy. Only Jain, Hindu, and a Buddhist. Now, if you look, Allah, which is all the Muslim in that area, Hindu is all mostly in India, and you can see the Christianity. Even though older Christianity believed in reincarnation, if you go back 3,000, 3,500 years ago, they did. But then yesterday, as we learned history of Jainism, and I'm glad he's here, how things change from Digambar to Svetambar, and some of the belief were changed. Same way they were selling certificates to go to heaven, the Christianity. And then they say, if we say there is a reincarnation, then once you go to heaven, their belief was you don't come back. So I'm not criticizing any religion, but this is, if you go back and do some research, they did believe in reincarnation. As a matter of fact, some of the writing we'll read in Christianity, they do talk about reincarnation. They do talk about it. So if they don't believe in reincarnation, they believe in a two school of thoughts for administration of doctrine of karma. One school is, like we believe, rebirth of reincarnation, but Christianity doesn't believe in reincarnation. They have a day of judgment. When you go up there, God decides, and are you being a good boy or a bad boy, or that decide. But Jainism thinks that God is compassionate. How can He send somebody to a bad place or a good place? Plus, how many life is in this universe? There are billions and billions of life. Why does God want to be involved in yours and my problem? He's in Akhandanand, in a Siddhashila. So this is why Jainism argues and makes us to understand that this has to be a scientific, and nobody can manage this world. And if he does, then according to Jainism, God should be full of compassion. Even I did something wrong, He wouldn't send me to bad thing. But if I've done something wrong, my karma would take over, and it becomes a natural. The main object of this presentation is to understand nature and the working of karma body and a tejas body, and establish the correlation between modern science and knowledge. That's our goal is. Some of the question in area of generic science and biophotonic theory puzzling, scientists have their answer in doctrine of karma. Knowing the subtler detail is interesting as well as gratifying. the fact that automatic regulating process is working within us keeps record of action, thoughts, and feelings and gives rewards. Reward and punishment is appropriate time for our good and bad deeds. The complete compels us to conscious of what is right and wrong and inspire us to take right decision. Right. Agree. That's why I was trying to sit here, but then, anyway, this presentation is just beginning of scientists' exploration of doctrine of karma. The Jain philosophy has strong logical and provides deep insight into phenomena taking place in nature, and this can have important implication of scientific progress. Our goal is, so understanding this, our faith in Arihant Lord is stronger, and then it will tell you how much correlation what science is saying and what Arihant Bhagwan is saying. We know what you sow is what you reap. Everybody is, vavo tevu lano. We don't know at what time we will have the fruits of whatever you sow is whatever you reap. So every philosophy is saying this, It's just like as nature, as apple falls and, goes down, it's natural. So talking about karma, today Shrenik Bhai was talking about Shalibhadra. Everybody, I don't know, everybody knows about story about Shalibhadra? I can shorten, the boy Shalibhadra went to play and everybody bought kheer. Kheer is the milk dish, like a good sweet rice pudding. But he couldn't take it because, his mom didn't have enough money. So he comes home and he says, Mom, I need to have a kheer. Everybody else is eating. So as mom, he goes next door and borrows sugar and milk and everything. And finally he prepares the kheer and he's ready to sit down and eat. Meantime, a sadhu comes and he says, Dharmalabh, Dharmalabh. And Shalibhadra offers all the kheer. Because of his punya karma, in his next life, he is born at the richest family. The rich, they were so rich, even richer than a king. One time, some fellow was selling very expensive shawl. And king said, sorry, I can't buy it. But go to this rich fellow, he would buy it. So she's buying those 32 shawl. Actually he had 16, but he had 32 wives, Shalibhadra. So this is his mother-in-law trying to buy it. So he cuts them into 16 pieces, he cuts them into pieces so they are 32, and they wipe with their feet and throw it away. But then the king said, I want to see this family who is so rich. And his mother says to Shalibhadra, our master is here. Come on down and see. At that time, he thinks, I am a master? Then he's saying, why did my dad left all of this sansari activity and he become monk? So he said, if I am a master, my dad left, so I should go take a diksha too. So he convinced his 32 wives and his other family members, and they take all diksha, and they all later goes to liberation. So this is again good karma works. As far as our thoughts are pure, without any kashaya, because we want to stop influx of those karma. Once we stop those, and then through nirjara we destroy the old karma. Otherwise this cycle repeats. So life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow is what you reap. what you give is what you get. What you see in others exists in you. That's why when we recite Namo Kar mantra, we are seeing all the virtues of Panch Paramesti, and that's why we sing, Prabhu mare tara jevu thavu che. Hey Prabhu, So, that's what. There's a lots of good story, what you sow is what you reap. That boy, he was drowning in the sand. And one nobleman hears his cry and he saves him. Otherwise, would have been a slow, terrifying death. The next day, the fancy carriage pulls in the farmer's house. And he said, I want to repay you because you saved my son. But he said, oh no, you don't have to give me anything. But he said, hey, let me do something. Who is this your son? Let me take him with me, because he was from England, London. And he said, let me take him with him and I'll give him a good education. So he takes him to the town and he graduated from St. Mary Hospital. And his name is Sir Alexander Fleming. And you know who that is. He discovered penicillin. Year afterwards, the nobleman's son got stricken with pneumonia. What saves him? Penicillin. And the name of the nobleman is Lord Randolph Churchill and Sir Winston Churchill. So what goes around comes around. You may not get fruits right away, but we all have to have a faith, do the right thing, and follow Arihant Lord preaching, and follow every step of Panch Mahavrata. So there are quite a few stories. We can. Excuse me. Even you know who this guy is, right? Reap what you sow. He's telling you, you get 10 times return. It's not just one time return. So Albert Einstein saying, is another story which really impressed me. On East Coast in Philadelphia, an elderly gentleman was looking for a room. It was snowing crazy. All the hotels were booked. So he finally finds one hotel and asks the gentleman up in front. He said, we are old, you're not feeling good. Can you arrange for a room? He said, I'm sorry, I don't have a room, but let me do something. You can sleep in my room. He said, I'm going to be all night working. So he gives him his room, and those folks are left. But he said, you'll hear from me. So 10 years later, or I don't know how many years later, he gets a call from New York. He said, come on over. You probably know this story. But come on over. And he goes up there, and he said he sees a huge hotel. And he said, are you going to manage this hotel for me? And this was on a corner of 5th Avenue and 34th Street. He said, this is the word, not good. It's another one. This is a good one. This is a karma. What goes around, sooner or later, it would come around. So this is again, I did talk to you about Vasudeva on 18th reincarnation and 27th reincarnation. The nails were in a Mahavir Swami. Now I tell you about the good stories, all, but this is in Kremlin, in Ukraine, and this monument belongs to Khmelnytsky Kamelinsky. But during during the Hitler, when they were prosecuting Jews, he and his thug heard 10,000 or more Jews. They burned them alive, quite a few of them, in a synagogue. I mean, it was just like what they massacred a lot of Jews. He was anti-Jews, anti-Arabs, and the name of that town is where this thing happened. You know how many people died in a cancer? More than 200,000. And that area, there is so much toxicity of nuclear waste, nothing gonna grow for 20,000 years or more. So I don't know exactly what happened, but a lot of time when you create karma in a group, disaster happens. Because so acceptance of hardship. Today Shanik Bhai said, no matter what situation you are in, pleasant or unpleasant, honor or insult, rich or poor, keep your equanimity. Keep your equanimity. This process known as doctrine of karma is foundation of Jain religion. The entire logic behind the doctrine of karma is scientific, is cause and effect. It's cause and effect. It's science fully supports this doctrine. It's amazing to know that discoveries were made by modern science with vast knowledge of physical law and highly sophisticated experimental facilities, as it's calm and agrees with observation made by Arihant Bhagavan. We'll skip this uncertainty. Yeah, this uncertainty principle is principle where science doesn't know, but Arihant told us what it is. And this is nothing but anekantvad. And medicine has figured out a lot of research, but if this is not this, it could be this. If this could be not, this could be this. So, like anekantvad, there are many possibilities. So modern science, who did not have an answer for principle like this, with using anekantvad, they were able to find the solution medically. That some new disease, they take possibilities and try to find a proper medicine for it. But if anybody wants to do, you can go on YouTube. I have a video for this, but I think we're gonna run out of time, so I won't say that. All I am saying is that Arihant Bhagavan knew about this principle, which modern science doesn't know. Well, video, I have the video, but I think we were kind of running out of time, because it's called Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Svyadvad and anekantvad, it's well, this one we're gonna go a little faster. A lot of people know about soul. The main important point is that soul controls all the body. It controls karma body, tejas body, and physical body. So soul is in demand. Our consciousness is in a full demand. Like sometimes, our indriya takes over, but if you have control over indriya, you say, oh, no, I already eaten my 2 mango, I can't take any more, because it's not good for my health, and I need to control my taste buds. So if you could do all of this time, and then, soul takes over. But otherwise, your karmic impression and your lesha, your inner thinking would take over before our true thoughts take over. So that's why I was saying that we must remember that soul is our king, is the master, and everything else is the slave. Everything else is the slave. Other important reality in physical matter is both subtle and aggregate. The Jaina regarded energy also as a matter, Pudgala, more than 2500 years ago. Now, this matter, we going towards karmic matters, those karmic matters, those vargana, it's full of Chaudlok. Our universe is this matter. So, that matter and energy are really different form of same thing. Matter can be turned into energy, and energy turned into a matter. This is all given into Tattvartha Sutra, which remember we did Tattvartha Sutra. So it undergoes transportation and changes. It has property of destruction, that in the form of destroyed and other originates. One destroys, another thing originates, Just composition does not change, only the liquid to gas and those. The soul, in fact, does not die. Only soul is the only one survives. Everything else is transitory. The soul is immortal and only changes in the form when it enters from one body to other body. When we go from one life to other life. Karma are the impression of the action performed by the soul. We know it is beginningless, endless. Its origin cannot be known. It occupies the body like oil in a seed. Same way these biophotons are all over our body. And how many cells we have? Millions of cells. And how many bacteria we carry? 10 times more than a cell. So remember they said the karmic adhyavasai is spread all over body. So does this biophoton. Now biophoton, we'll see some videos, and with electromagnetic waves we can change the codes of those biophotons. And those codes are the binary codes which send the messages to our DNA. And DNA is our silent blueprint of our whole body. So that's where this message goes around. And that's what we're gonna look deep into it, how this thing happens, what electromagnetic waves are, how they affect biophoton, how they affect cells. Some cell may be cancer cell, some cell may be immune cell, some cell may be building our bones, all sorts of cell, which we'll see what different kinds of cell we are. So these are about, we'll little pass about the soul. I think we know the soul is forever. We change only bodies, or we go from different lokas, so now this is the one. The fine subtle matter known as karmana vargana are scattered and floating all over the Jain universe. Now we know that we attract those karmic matter to our soul, and we call a vargana. And there are all kinds of vargana. There is a vargana in our body for digesting food. There is vargana for, there are hundreds of vargana, but their main vargana is like karmic vargana, tejas, which digest our food, and many other karma. But we'll concentrate mostly on the karma. Now this universe is 74% dark matter and 21% is dark energy. Oh, I'm sorry. Dark matter is 21% and dark energy is 74%. And those scientists think that those dark energies are the one is our karmic vargana. Those are the massless particles. whenever we depart from this life, we always carry karmic body with us. And those are the impressions of our past impressions, So it's like a flash drive, with all our assets and liabilities of punya and papa. That goes with karma body. But when you see these vibrations, you would see how biophotons structure changes. And those structures are the one carries our punya, papa, karma, or in between, depending upon how much passion we carry for each pap or punya. Each pap or punya. There's a video for this one too, but now these are all those particles. The modern science doesn't know which is this karmic particle. Maybe one of these young guys, you can find out and tell science that, hey, out of all these particles, quarks and leptons, and these are the karmic particles. And maybe we'll find a solution to copy those karmic problems, and I know what I've done wrong in my past life. Yeah. Yeah. Dark matter. Dark matter is, I think, a lot of stars, and when you look in a galaxy, there are a lot of things floating around, which is not massless particles. I think that we'll look at the video if we get a time. It's a nice video explaining what is dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter can be categorized by looking at the sort of particle is made from. It can be either baryonic or non-bionic. Bionic matters are quarks, proton and neutron. Quark is fundamental particle. So dark matter, I'm sorry, I miss. Dark matter is the Vargana, which is filled with, and dark energy, I can tell you what that is. I think we will look at that video later and go more on now this is somebody would say what this dark matter looks like. There's a video for this, but it's very hard. Somebody would later see the picture of karmic Vargana or particles. You see similarity between this and that. Now these are lots of, these are again, this we call particle zoo. Science still trying to find out what those are. They've given the names, but they don't know the detailed characteristic of all of those. Now this matter, if you go look at this Tattvartha Sutra, this is all defined. Other function of matter is causing pleasure, pain, and life and death. Now this matter, they're talking about karmic matter. So those are, I'm just gonna go through to have some idea that everything is given in the Tattvartha Sutra, regarding fusion, which is a nuclear energy, how the bomb is made. A lot of this thing, fusion, and is defined Parmanu, Skand, aggregates and particles. All matter is made of particles which are elementary units of matter. So I'm not going to explain to you this, just to understand that this is all karmic matters are defined in our scriptures. Ultimate particles aggregate. This is I was talking about fission and fusion. And this is what you require to do, I think, atomic bombs and things like that. You know, they break up and they combine, you know, is that all? Uranium and all this. Okay. Yeah, I'll pass. Okay. You know, they say there is nothing faster than the speed of light. You know, when we depart from here and suppose we're going to heaven or Siddhashila, I mean, it's billions, millions of light years away. You know, science hasn't proven that you could do as fast. You know, but lately physicists in the lab near Geneva say they observed subatomic particles moving faster than the speed of light. The translocation body or aharik sharira with the labdhi dhari soul is capable of traveling millions of miles in one samay. And one samay, quarter second, has hundreds of samay. So, you know, the modern science is moving towards that way, you know, that what our goal is saying. This is regarding more about soul. So, you know, we'll pass that. What time shall we, how long we continue? 10:30? Okay, okay, so everybody's fine. Maybe we can finish up to, okay, okay, so we'll start up there. So let me keep up. Labdhidhari Atma. Remember, there was Atma used to go to Mahavidya Kshetra to ask the question to Simandar Swami. Now, during Mahavir Swami time, there were those kind of soul, they can travel and go to Mahavidya Kshetra and come back. As a matter of fact, I don't remember the true story, but one of the kind of soul took a guy like you and I with him because he had done some favor to him. He said, come on, I take you to Simandar Swami. You know, and I don't know exact story, but those are the souls. You know, lately, in this era, I'm not sure, right, Pradeep bhai? In this era, I'm not sure that we are capable of doing that. But during Mahavir Swami, even if you remember, the 14 Purva was, who remember the last one? Bahubali? No, Bhadrabahu. Now Bhadrabahu changed, his sister came to worship him and he was he changed into a tiger or lion, right? Because of that labdhi, you know, gift, and he scared his sister, and because of that his guru told him that I'm not going to teach you anymore because you use your knowledge in a wrong way. Right. So now we know how the karmas are formed and bonded with the soul. We're learning this is somewhat about karma, so we understand, you know, Gnanavarniya karma, there's all this karma, and then we relate it to modern science. Okay. A soul has karma body attached to it. Past impression and the karma gives rise to kashaya, which is we talked, you know, like through our inner thought and lasya. The passions are desire carrying feeling of love and hate. There are four main passions, you know, I call toxic passion. Krodh, man, maya, lobh, anger, pride, illusion, deceit and greed, you know. And these are all mohniya karma, and those are the ringleaders. You know, these are the ringleaders gets us in trouble, you know. The passion introduces impurities, and abilities of pure soul. Every time we want to do right things, but karma obscures our perception, our knowledge, our passion, whatever our true nature is. We are full of infinite knowledge, bliss. We have, 8 those qualities which Siddha Bhagavan has. But because of this karmic body, everything gets obscured and then gets into lesha, and then we act. Remember that we'll see that tree, who want to cut the bottom of the tree, somebody wants to take the fruit, somebody wants to take the branch. We act different way. And my impression to you or your impression to me is through this lesha. The Sukla lesha would be Acharya Bhagavan, is nothing but the pure thoughts, in their mind 24/7. The properties of pure souls are said to be obscured by karma, like I said. Example, knowledge of the soul is obscured by knowledge obscuring karma, which we call Jnana-varniya karma. Living being is engaged in yoga, all these activities, and creates all this karma. 2 things happen due to vibration of the soul. First, the karma body vibrates on account of principle of resonance. Second, the vibrating soul attracts those karmic vargana, Just like if you have an oily shirt and all the dust are flying, it would catch those dust. Karma varganas are kind of subtle matter, energy particles, which we talked about. Those are massless particles. The karma varganas are, I can't pronounce right, agglomerates of Jain atoms, but are invisible to eyes. We call Parmanu. So whenever we talk about Parmanu, I think of aham, ego. Don't have ego even as small as Parmanu, because that's the smallest thing. Karma is group of specific vargana that carries impression. We talk about each karma has a life, and after that separates out from. Once we dissolve all the karma body goes away, and we wind up in Siddhashila. Every time we attract some karma, there is always some nirjara, because sometimes we do wrong thing, but back in the mind, we know this is not right, So there is always some nirjara, So this both work together. We call vipak or nirjara. So this is the cycle, This is the cycle of, your yoga activities, and then, there is some influx. But the main thing is, you want to deposit money in your account, so you want to more nirjara, more karma should disappear and not more come into our body. Now this is the same, it's a vicious cycle. I think we saw that slide again, it's a karmic body. Now this karma there are 4 kinds of karma bonds, the pradesh band. The soul has pradesh, which is space point. Truly speaking, soul is indivisible, but for the purpose of theoretical explanation, it is assumed to have some space point. If the strength of action is low, less number of karma bonds, which is pradesha. When you do something, you do it quietly. Given an example, suppose you are sitting outside on a summer hot day and there's mosquito all around you, and then you said, oh, this one got me, and you do it with anger. Now what does that mosquito gonna do? Gonna give you a fever, right? You're gonna give you pneumonia. But depending upon your intensity of that passion, you may get 104 degree temperature, maybe 102, 101, or maybe you may stay only for a half a day. But this is just comparing that passion, But if you say, hey, I'm so sorry, what did I do? Then, karma may not be lost long, So we're talking about those kind of things, I'm giving you this a good example of this temperature, because sometimes, how much I know, how much karma I collected, what is the scale, we don't know. But it gives you some idea that depending upon that passion, some people, it may last for a little long time. Or if you do Naukar mantra, you can convert a Shubh karma into Shubha karma. See, there is no magic here, everything is properly planned by Aryan Bhagwan, it just, so they say that a 10-pound stone falling on you can become a Magno Dano, if you reciting Naukar mantra, because Shashan Devi is around you, they can help you. For every one word, there are 1,000 Shashan Devi, the guardian angel for you. But when you do this, when you recite this without any kashaya, Suddha Bhav, Suddha. Prakriti Ban. There are various type of karma, nature. Their nature is identified the particular property of the soul that obscured. There are 8 main properties of the soul, and there are 8 main types of karma, which we know. Duration. Now this duration is, I was telling you about your passion, if you do it with less passion, duration may be very small. Intensity, again, you may get 106 degree temperature or 100 degree, it's intensity of every one. Now, this picture, not symbolizing karma and the link between all lives. Anybody went to Ranakpur? This is the picture in Ranakpur. There is a one place where they, in a Ranakpur, just karma philosophy. I've taken like 500 slides of, that time they had slides, I have all that. Now even Buddhism, today we can compare many religion with our karma philosophy, Now Buddhist philosophy has this bell. If you move that bell, it's the same thing, it's karma. It's knots, you can see all the knots of karma. Now look at this karmic particles, like a dark energy. This is the karma bonds. If you're greedy, it's greedy. You want to start a war. All the, whatever we do, the wrong thing. Adar Papasthanak, right? Part of Nautattva. Pele Pranatipat, Bijay Mushavat, Tije Atradan, Chote Maitun, all of those things we know. Today, Shrenik Bhai was saying Jivdaya, Pranatipat, the main thing is non-violence, whole Jain philosophy and non-violence. In other religion, they carry non-violence only for human. Our religion is the only one we go up to microscopic life. Nigod Jeev, Ikindriya Jeev, So, but that's what Pranatipat, This is dark matter, that's what. In order to understand types of karma, we will study Bandhana Tattva. And everybody knows this, right? Jnana, Varniya karma, Mohaniya karma, Charitra. Those Charitra, those Kashaya. But no Kashaya is as bad, We joke, we laugh, we fear, we feel sorrow, all of those things, we have a power obscuring charity, we feel like donate, but we don't, and that's because of your antray karma, This nam karma, will live in a detail. Every bones of our body, every joints of our body has to do with nam karma, Ekindra Jiva, Beindra Jiva, all their body is all reflect to your nam karma. Vedaniya karma, we know, pleasant and unpleasant feeling karma, So that's. I have some. I can bring some tomorrow. I have. If somebody wants to look, I got a charts for Nav Tattva, very simplified. About 10 pages, you will know everything about Nav Tattva. And very easy to understand like that chart. We learn about nature, quality, duration, and intensity. Every karma bondage, whenever you bond karma, it goes with you. The nature depends on a vigor, activity of action. Duration, intensity depends on intensity of desire, behind your. Now, Prakriti Bandh classified in 8.1, like we said. Obscure essential nature of the soul, knowledge, vision, bliss, power, eternal existence, and equanimity. Now, those are all the true nature of our soul gets obscured because of our karma. Now, Jnanavarniya, Darshanavarniya, Antaray, Mohaniya, Mohaniya, belief and conduct. We don't have that much faith. And when we don't have a faith, sometimes you fear and do wrong thing. What did Shainik Bhagwan was saying? He said, one of the minister always says that whatever happened is good, it's God willing. No matter what happened. So this minister and king, they were always went hunting in a forest. And one day, by mistake, something happened, and the king cut his finger. And he said, King, whatever happened is good, and God willing. And he said, what are you doing? I'm going to put you in a jail. I'm bleeding, I'm hurting, and you're telling me that it's good? Then he puts him in a jail, and he said, King, even though I'm going in a jail, God willing, whatever is done is right. So next day, he goes himself for hunting. And he got lost. He became all by himself. And there were some other soldiers were looking to do sacrifice. So take the king. He said, we're going to do human sacrifice. 32 લક્ષણો માણસ જોઈએ ને. With 32 લક્ષણ means all your body parts is perfect order, So they take him up there and they're going to sacrifice him. And then somebody says, oh, look, his finger is cut. We can't sacrifice him. So they let the king go, and he's so happy. And he goes to the minister. He said, now I understand what you told me. God willing, everything gonna be fine. He said, I'm sorry what I did to you. But he said, why did you say when you are going to the jail that and being happy that God willing to do? He said, if I was with you, I would have been killed because I would have not a broken finger. So the story is that no matter what situation is, samatva. You can write whole Jain philosophy on a one word, samatva. Two meaning, equality and equanimity. Equality means you treat every soul just like you want to get treated. Ekindriya soul, Beindriya soul, whatever it is. Equanimous, be calm. And if you're rich or poor, honor or insult, pleasant or unpleasant feeling, hot or cold. I don't know, lately everybody's so hot with that heat. So we're lucky it's a AC here, but just, that's the whole idea, right? Vedaniya karma. Physics determining karma has so much to do with modern science, because modern science has gone so deep about every part of our body, So we'll compare those to the modern science. Jnana Varniya Karma has to do with, I think, sensory, scripture, telepathy, Keval Jnana. Darshanavarni is perception, If you have a right perception, if you have a right darshan, we know darshan, gnan, charitra, moksha marga, So we need to understand, this gives you, if you don't have this, you have a problem with sleep, that maybe has to do with Darshanavarniya karma, Antaray karma is, all of this, you cannot enjoy. If I have diabetes and I know at $4 I can buy a nice sweet mango at Pioneer Boulevard, and I want to eat some more because it's so good. But if I have antray karma, I can't enjoy because of my diabetes. Mohniya karma, we know this is the wrong belief. We just don't have a faith. We just can't do everything what we want to do because of we fear. There was one town. It was drought. There was no rain. So one of the monks said that we're gonna go and pray today so we could have a rain. Everybody is going. One little boy carried umbrella. Nobody else carried umbrella. And they go and they pray. Next thing they know is a rain. So a guy like me asked to the monk, I said, what happened? He said, because of this young boy who had a faith, it's raining. So you compare your faith versus, this boy faith, and, a lot of times, we may hopefully change our steps and move towards the right direction, Today, say, if we have a faith, it's almost Samyak Darshan, right, Pradeep bhai? If we have a faith in Arihant Lord, then no matter what happens to me, I would always follow my Panch Mahavrat and follow the Arihant Lord. That's Samyak Darshan, and that's why we say, Uvasagram, Tadev Dijya Bohim, Bhave Bhave Pasa Jina Chanda. Bhagwan, હું તારી પાસે કંઈ નથી માગતો. મને એક સમ્યક દર્શન આપ. Just give me true perception, and that's what we need. Vedaniya karma, this is, I know at my age I have a problem with my knee, and I know I have Ashata Vedaniya karma, a Nam karma, Osi, Ayu karma, This is, we know how long we're going to live. And this has to do with division of self. When we cannot carry on with our life, the division of self would be way, way down. Because every bad cell dies, new one regeneration. If we get a cut, we send all the information that, hey, there is a cut, cell, go there and, stop that bleeding. This is all happening. So depending upon our Ayu karma, they all behave. Gotra karma, we know that, where we're going to go born. Marichi was, they said, my parents going to be Tirthankar and, all of those ego, and he wind up in a Nich Gotra. Gati Agati karma. So four first one were Gati karma and Agati karma. We know all of this, right? So we're going to go a little faster. Well, what we'll do is we'll finish about 140 slides. We got 450 slides. So if we cover this, the basic part today, we'll start Monday, anatomy of the body. So we'll go into karmic body and in a physical body and tejas body. So this is just a little introduction of karma. Intensity of karma we talked about. I did talk about fever, depending upon how bad behaved with that mosquito biting you. Now, have you seen that little racket? It's electrical, and you could zap mosquito. It's so sad, that it happens, The rise of karma, the karma vipak we talked about. Rise of karma takes place due to following cause. An object can cause the rise of karma. Object can be living or non-living, and this is perceived by our sense. Apni panch indriya creates all these problems. Touch, taste, smell, vision, and hearing. Right? This is why when you go and say, what are the virtues of sadhu? Control over 5 sense organ. So this is, when you follow all this Panch Parmesi virtue, you need to do all of this. Sparsha Indriya Nirgaha, controlling pleasure, pain, touch sense, Ras Indriya, which is, smell, Garnendriya is smell, taste, other one is Chaksu Indriya. We see all the movies. Today Shrenik Bhai was saying that, he hardly watches more TV because it's nothing but garbage, it's nothing good. So, this is, so now rise of karma, it depends on a place, time, bhav, and mental interfactors, emotional factors. The ability of the soul is immense. No amount of karma can completely obscure it. So this is what we want to do is, the soul is like a king and karma is all their couriers. So here is the king and those 8 karmas are there. So we need to control those couriers. We are the king. Ability of the soul, power of the soul is great that it person determined to proceed on the path of emancipation, karma would go in a silent mode. The soul with powerful action can destroy the karma and pave the way for liberation. We have no control over circumstances. Things gonna happen depending upon. But we can always dilute those karmas. Or when we are healthy, we can bring over those karma and fight instead of when I'm 80 years old and I can't think right. And I cannot fight those diseases. So you can sankraman, you can transfer, except nikachit karma, all other karma, by many ways you can do this. Some of you may have seen this, Now the deer is pregnant. He has to give a birth. Here is one side, he sees a hunter ready to kill the deer. Other side is a lion. One side is a fire and other side is a river. And deer is worried. He said, hey, I gotta give a birth. I'm very worried about my child. So what happens? He says, I want to do right thing. I want to follow my principle. And and what happens? Lightning happens. Lightning happens and it blinds the hunter and he hits the lion. And the lightning brings a lot of rain. And the fire was gone. And everything worked out fine. So how much we fear, but deer did the right thing. So no matter what happens, we have to take this example and think we do the right thing. Follow. So, have a right initiative. We'll start from Monday, anatomy of the body. And let me skip some slides for you so you get, these are all the, some of the slides. This is our energy field from our body. This is aura. You've seen Mahavir Swami with the aura. This is all their energy. These are chakra. This is where our vibration goes from soul to karma body, becomes karmic vibration, adhyavasha, leshya, and goes to our physical mind, chitta. Chitta, these are all vibrating all the time. And we'll learn about all of this. These are all other vibration. Some of the vibration goes through. If you have a sukla vibration and you know what is right and wrong, nothing gonna come in between. No karma body or no tejas body or leshya would come in your way. So these are all vibration. These are all electromagnetic field. We know our body is electrical. We put a pacemaker and we know we can make hard work right. A lot of people, so we know, we'll prove that body is electrical. So those are other slides you'll see, a lot of all glands and all the nervous system, and we'll learn. I learned more about biology. So there is a lot of videos too. There are a lot of videos too which you will see. Now this is the one. This is emotions, but look, emotions creates the bleeding of emotions is all it is. Worry, sadness, these are good and these are guilt. So even though we get angry, it bleeds and does all of these things. Shame, frustration, And these are another kashaya. These are like square root. So, everything is like, gets multiplied. And these are all our body, where everything is. Emotion is in one part of the brain. So we'll do all of those, there's a lot of them, Nervous system and this could all more. It's easy, with my projector, it's, but anyway, hope you guys join us Monday. And મિચ્છામિ દુક્કડમ મન વચન કાયાથી શાસ્ત્ર વિરુદ્ધ હું કંઈ બોલ્યો હોય તો હું આપની માફી માગું છું, ભગવાનની માફી માગું છું. હા બોલો. The main thing is always get back to kashaya. Just you look at natural way, like a bus is going by. We all have 80% of our time is gossip. In gossip, we don't know what is the truth, because truth is only told by Aryan Bhagwan. So if you tell me something, first thing is, I don't know it's right or wrong, but I give my opinion. Obama should do this and blah blah, and that creates that karma coming in. But if you stay neutral, he said, one thing is, I don't know this is right or wrong, because it's not Aryan Bhagwan telling me.
One thing we should do is stay neutral.
Very neutral. No matter what it is, stay neutral. Even if you know something, stay neutral. Because we are like six blind and an elephant. We catch a leg and we think, oh, elephant is like a pillar. We all think that way. So if you stay neutral and keep samta in a pain or pleasure, in a good or bad, even though you like mango and I like to say, oh, I love it, don't say it. Just say, it's good that I'm lucky I got it. Because, by saying that I like it, it's not as good as keeping samta. So that's the whole story. Once we keep our samta jiv sada sukhi, right? So that's all. Just keep samta, And Pradeep Bhai, please add something. Pradeep Bhai is, how knowledgeable he is. He started his own swadhyay. So anything to elaborate what we saying, please. There are videos, but it will come when we do nervous system. We'll see how body is electromagnetic. You'll be amazed that every part of cell puts out those electric energy. That electric energy is like a binary codes. Those codes work in our body as a laser speed, at a laser accuracy. Just think, on a one laser signal, 90,000 TV station you can send on a one laser beam. And our body works even better than that, because we got 10 billions and more cells. So how everything is so synchronized, everything is in coherent. So we'll learn about laser coherent, laser accuracy, and how our karmic vibration, which we call electromagnetic vibrations, affect every cell of the body. And those are the cells, our Gnanavarniya karma, Darshanavarniya karma, depending upon what part of the brain. If it is Vedaniya karma, maybe a cancer cell, maybe Alzheimer disease, Parkinson disease, I have a bone problem, then I have a calcium deficiency. I'm not creating a lot of that vitamins and chemicals I need. So, what it does. Okay, apne Navkar mantra gana. You're welcome. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loe Sauvasahunam, Eso Panchanamukkaro, Sauvapava Panasano, Mangalanam cha Sauvesim, Padamam Havai Mangalam.
This is your captain. We are present.